Hey everybody, Sean from Media Assault here, and it's time for another movie review. Actually, this is going to be two reviews, and even further, this is going to be the beginning of a new long-running series here on the channel, and it's going to be from my Unwatched list, or my Unwatched pile, something to that effect. These are basically movies that I've had for a little while that I haven't gotten around to watching, and I'm going to tell you, first of all, why it took me so long to watch them, and whether or not I was right, just based on what I was thinking about why I didn't want to see this movie or whatever, what led me to not watch it for so long. And of course, give you a review on it. So I've got two reviews today. First up is Warrior from 2011, starring Tom Hardy, Nick Nolte, and Joel Edgerton. And this was written and, actually co-written and directed by Gavin O'Connor. And you may know the story. I knew the story before, but I only sort of half knew it. And I don't want to spoil it because I was actually kind of glad that I was wrong. And that's one of the reasons I put off watching it. I figured it would just be a typical sports movie and be kind of cliched. Even though a lot of people had told me it was really good and kind of like Rocky, I just put it off for whatever reason. I just didn't think I would be able to get into it. And it had a relatively long running time. It's 2 hours, almost 2.5 hours. But as is the case, as many times when there's a movie that somebody recommends to me, and I hear that same recommendation over and over and over again, they were right. This is a really good movie. Yes, it is a sports movie. Yes, there are some cliched moments, but it's a lot better than I thought it would be. The performances are all excellent. Tom Hardy is fantastic in it. Joel Edgerton is in it, and he is very good. And if you don't know who he is, I had not seen him in anything before, or so I thought. He's the guy that actually played Owen Lars in Revenge of the Sith. The younger version of Uncle Owen from Star Wars, the original Star Wars. He plays the younger version in that film. So he's only in that movie for a little bit of time. He's done some other stuff, but nothing that I've seen, or at least that I'm aware of. But anyway, he's great in this. But it is Nick Nolte who really is the, I don't want to say the star of the film, but his performance in this is absolutely fantastic. And he got an Oscar nomination in the process for this performance. It is a mixed martial arts movie, MMA. I am not an MMA fan. I don't have anything against it. I'm just not a fan. But you don't have to be to really like this movie unless you're totally, 100% against the idea of MMA or fighting in general. It is a fairly violent movie in terms of the in-ring action, but I think that's overcome more by the emotional side of this movie. It is a very emotional movie. It's drama. It's not very lighthearted. It does have some light moments in it, but it is a really solid movie. And I'm sorry I put it off for as long as I did. I really highly recommend Warrior. I would give it an 8.5 out of 10. I think it's a fantastic movie. Really, really worth seeing. Check it out. The other film that I watched today is Source Code. This is also from 2011. This was directed by Duncan Jones, who did the directing for one of my favorite movies of all time, Moon. And it was actually his work on Moon that got him the role of director on this particular picture, because Jake Gyllenhaal, who is in this, saw his work in Moon, or with Moon, and recommended him as the director, and he took on the project. So kudos to Jake Gyllenhaal for knowing talented director when he sees one, or the work of one. This film stars Jake Gyllenhaal, Michelle Monaghan, and Vera Farmiga. I'm saying that right, or Vera Farmiga, and Jeffrey Wright, who you may know from Skyfall, and quite a bit of other things that immediately don't register in my brain at the moment. I think he was in Angels in America, but I can't remember. Anyway, this is a science fiction film, and I thought it was going to be, the reason I put it off is I thought it was going to be a typical PG-13 kind of low-rent science fiction movie that really doesn't push any boundaries or do anything new, or isn't all that interesting. It's kind of like, I think an example of that maybe would be, recent memory would be like Jumper, which was a PG-13 science fiction movie that was okay. It had an interesting concept, but the execution sucked. And I thought that's what this was going to be, kind of the same thing, where it was an interesting idea, but for the sake of trying to appeal to everybody, it just really isn't worth seeing. That's what I thought. I didn't realize that Duncan Jones was associated with the project until today when I picked up the Blu-ray and looked at it and saw that he was on it. I'm like, oh geez, why the hell haven't I watched this sooner? So I did pop it in today, and I really enjoyed it. I thought the concept, which I don't want to spoil, but you get the idea from the trailer, that this is a man, Jake Gyllenhaal plays a man on a mission for the military, which somehow they send him back into a past, not life, but a past experience from someone else. And they use that ability to try to solve a terrorist attack, like who did it and why and all that kind of stuff. And I won't say any more than that. The methods by which they do this would blow your brain if you try to explain it or try to think about it too long. The whole premise is kind of like a time travel movie, but it's not a time travel movie. But I won't go any further than that. Needless to say, I really did like this movie. I thought the concept was great. The execution, which I thought would suck, was actually really cool. Jake Gyllenhaal can kind of be erratic as a performer, as an actor. Sometimes I really like his work, and sometimes he's just sort of mediocre. Here, he's fantastic. He's really good. He's likable. I liked his character. I liked the situation he found himself in and how he dealt with it. Michelle Monaghan, she doesn't really have much to do in this other than be likable, but she does that very well, and it serves the role, as well as it has to. Vera Farmiga, she is really given the meteor role in this, and you don't really hear too much about her being in this movie, but she's actually really good. She has a lot of facial stuff that she does that's just really good. It's nuanced acting, but it's an excellent performance, and I've always liked her. She's also in The Departed. She plays Matt Damon's girlfriend or wife. I can't remember if they were married in the movie. It's been a while since I've seen it, but anyway, she's really good in that. She's really good in this, and I believe she's in the new series Bates Motel, which she's also supposed to be really good at or in. I have not seen that yet. But anyway, this is a really good movie. So if anybody's recommended this to you and you've put it off, go see it, rent it, buy it. You can get this at Walmart for $7.88 on Blu-ray right now. It's well worth $8 and well worth your time, and I'd give it an 8 out of 10. So there you go. That's the beginning of my new series, the From My Unwatched pile. And I'll be doing these from now on. I've got a lot of movies that I need to watch in my collection that I haven't gotten around to seeing, and this series is going to kind of prompt me to do that so I can review them, see them, and move on. So thanks for watching, everybody. As always, feel free to rate, comment, and if you haven't done so already, please subscribe. And stay tuned for more movie reviews and other stuff here on the Media Assault channel. Thanks for watching. Take it easy.